Hi there, and thank you for joining me again. My name is Pete Last from Pete Last Coaching, and this is week 21 in my year in the life of an executive coach. I can't believe we're nearly halfway through the year, and I'm still sitting here wearing a jumper. But hopefully, come the May bank holiday, we might start to feel a bit warm, and we might see that strange orange thing that is apparently glowing in the sky somewhere. Last week, in week 20, I spoke a little bit about the benefits of coaching, and I identified 5 ways in which I think coaching can help support clients: reflection, perspective, clarity, support, and confidence. And I wanted to now just take a week on each of those topics. So this week, I'm going to have a little bit of a think about the importance of reflection and how that might work for clients and also for me as a coach. So I think it's an important aspect of the coaching process. For me, the word reflection really conjures up 2 things as a coach. It obviously is, firstly, it's about facilitating opportunities for my clients to reflect on their current situation. I'm very lucky to live in Bideford in North Devon, which is a beautiful part of the country, and this is about 5 minutes from our house. This is Westward Ho Beach. Some of you will know it. We're there most days with the dog. Debs and I love walking on Westward Ho Beach. It's an absolutely beautiful location, especially when the tide is out. And what we get there is lots and lots of very gorgeous reflections like this one. Obviously a sunset that we took earlier in the year. It's interesting, though, that the reflections are often more exciting and more beautiful when there are clouds present, which is an interesting observation, which I'll just let you perhaps ponder. But one of the things I try to do when I'm working with clients is to create space for them to engage in their own reflection, to give them time to think, to allow them to contemplate their current situation, and sometimes to allow them to take a good, long, hard look at themselves and their current situations and what their goals and objectives might be. So that's definitely one way in which I think about reflections when I'm coaching. The second is actually more akin to the process of coaching, because one of the things that coaches are often encouraged and indeed taught to do when they're training is to reflect back to the client. So you'll often hear and read and see coaches talking about the ability to paraphrase and summarize. So listening very carefully is sometimes just called active listening, isn't it? Listening very carefully to what the client is saying and then trying to summarize and reflect back to them. But I've been doing some reading recently of a book by a fellow coach whose name is Claire Pedrick, and this is her book, Simplifying Coaching. And in this book, she talks about reflecting back and really asks the question, is it as good as it's made out to be? Because if somebody's telling you a story about their context or their situation that they've told many, many times before, and you then reflect that back to them and summarize what they've said to you, are you actually helping them to gain any real insight into their situation, or are you just confirming the story that they've practiced and the story that they are telling themselves and that they are telling others about their own current situation? So she has a bit of a challenge there, and she uses two words which I think help me as I think about my practice as a coach when I'm listening to clients talk. One is to listen out for the headlines. So rather than trying to follow every little detail of every nuance of the story that the client is telling me, what's the big picture? What am I listening out for? What are the headlines? Is it that they are suffering from loss because of a change that's happened in their situation? Is it that they're struggling with transition or change? Is it that they feel stuck? And I might not hear that by trying to listen to every little bit of the detail of what they're telling me, but I need to be aware of the headlines. What is it they're actually saying? And I know from feedback I've received from clients that I've been working with that I can do that. I am able to listen to what they say and then reflect back to them the headlines. So kind of cutting through some of the detail to say, well, actually, it sounds to me as though the problem is here that you feel stuck in your current role. Is that correct? And that can be quite a powerful and effective moment for both client and coach. The second thing Claire Pedrick mentions is to think about the underbelly. And what she means by that is the feelings and emotions. I mentioned earlier that we have a spaniel. His name is Archie. He's the world's most useless guard dog. He will bark like crazy when the doorbell goes, and then when we open the door, he will lie on his back and just greet the visitor with his underbelly and say, "Please rub my tummy," because he's a very affectionate spaniel. But the underbelly, dogs will only do that if they trust somebody, if they feel safe, if they feel comfortable and confident. So what Claire's talking about when she refers to the underbelly is kind of listening through what's actually being said to get to the emotion and the feeling. So that will come over in how you share something with me. It'll come over in the language that you use. It'll come over with in the pace at which you speak, the volume that you use, your body language, the way your eyes are making contact or not with me. So I can read a lot into a situation by watching out for what Claire calls the underbelly of the conversation and then reflecting back. But I have to be careful there, because I don't want to then start to try and diagnose what might be going on, but just maybe bouncing back. So you feel stressed, or so you feel anxious, or so you feel angry, and just testing the water there with the client to try and understand the emotions that are underlying their responses. So I think reflection is a really important part of coaching, both reflection for clients, which is what a lot of clients come to me for, the opportunity to create space in their lives to reflect, but also for me as a coach to think about how I reflect back to my clients. So thank you again very much indeed for engaging with the video. If you're interested in exploring how coaching might support your development, there's my email address. Please do contact me, have a look at my website, and get in touch. In the meantime, have a great week, and let's, fingers crossed, all of us hope that at the end of this week, the May Bank holiday, we might all actually see some sunshine. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.